Spend less without feeling restricted. Take control of your money and build real savings starting today. In this video, you will discover practical ways to save more each month and budget like the wealthy. Every tip is simple, actionable, and designed to fit your everyday life, helping you make smarter decisions without stress or confusion. You'll learn how to track spending effortlessly, cut unnecessary costs, and prioritize what really matters for your financial future. These strategies aren't just about numbers. They're about creating freedom, confidence, and consistency in your life. Follow along closely, apply these steps, and you'll notice your money working for you, not the other way around. Hit subscribe for more content from Audiobook Shift and start transforming the way you handle money. By the end of this video, you'll have clear steps to grow your savings and stay disciplined. Number 1. Track every expense before spending anything. Tracking every expense before spending anything begins with a single, uncompromising decision. No purchase moves forward without awareness. This is discipline disguised as habit. It is not about making life harder. It is about making choices clearer. When every expense is recorded, spending sheds its fog. Patterns appear. Wasted money becomes visible. Priorities stand out. The act of tracking transforms vague intentions into concrete facts that can be shaped, improved, and mastered. Begin by committing to a simple rule. Every outgoing money flow gets logged immediately. When a small amount is spent on coffee, a bus ride, or a streaming add-on, record it in the moment. Use a phone app, a small notebook, a spreadsheet, anything that is quick and reliable. The tool matters less than the habit. The crucial thing is consistency. If a method proves slow or cumbersome, it will be abandoned. Choose the method that fits the pace of daily life and makes recording effortless. This reduces friction and increases follow-through. Break expenses into clear categories. Essentials are one group: housing, utilities, groceries, transportation. Obligations are another: loan repayments, insurance, mandatory subscriptions. Discretionary spending is the third: dining out, impulse buys, entertainment. Create a short, stable list of categories and stick to it for at least one full month. Too many categories create paralysis. Too few obscure insight. 5 to 8 categories give a balance of clarity and simplicity. Each entry must be assigned to one of these categories immediately. Adopt a 2-step recording ritual. Step 1. Capture the transaction. This is a fast note: amount, vendor, category. Step 2. Name the motive. This is an intentional question that deepens awareness. Why was this purchase made? Was it convenience, habit, reward, boredom, necessity, social pressure? Answering this brief question, even in one word, forces a micro-reflection that radically changes future behavior. Over time, motives reveal patterns. When many entries read the same motive, that signals an opportunity to redesign the environment that fuels the spending. Use weekly reconciliation as a hard rule. At a set time each week, Sunday evening, a lunch break, any consistent slot, review the week's entries. Compare them against accounts and receipts. Correct errors. Move miscategorized items. This review is not a punishment. It is information gathering. The weekly window is short enough to keep memory fresh and long enough to gather meaningful trends. During the review, highlight any surprising or irrational purchases. Investigate them gently. The goal is adaptive learning, not self-reproach. Measure 2 numbers daily: total spent and number of discretionary transactions. The total spent gives a surface-level sense of cash flow. The number of discretionary transactions reveals behavior. A single high-value discretionary buy is different from many small unplanned purchases. Both matter, but the second often reveals a behavioral leak: small, frequent choices that compound into significant loss. Aim to reduce the frequency of discretionary transactions first. This is where discipline yields the fastest results. Set clear micro-goals tied to real behavior, not abstract amounts. Instead of saying, "save more next month," declare, "record every transaction within 5 minutes of purchase," or reduce discretionary purchases to 3 per week. Behavioral goals make success measurable and immediate. When goals are concrete and time-bound, follow-through becomes easier. and progress becomes visible. Use small wins to build momentum. Celebrate the first 2 weeks of perfect recording. That celebration fuels the next month of discipline. Create pre-commitment strategies that reduce decision fatigue in the moment. If impulse dining is a problem, pre-plan 3 meals for the week and carry a simple lunch. If online impulse purchases happen late at night, set account passwords in a different location and schedule purchase windows in the daytime. Pre-commitment is stoic in nature. It removes unnecessary choices and binds the future self to the better course decided in a calm moment. Build commitment devices that are practical and enforceable. Transfer a small fixed amount into savings the day income arrives. When money moves automatically, the temptation to spend what isn't seen decreases. Use the physical senses to create accountability. Keep a small stack of receipts in a visible spot. Put a jar on the kitchen counter, labeled with your saving goal, and drop a coin into it each time a discretionary purchase is avoided. The tactile action and visual evidence create emotional feedback. Seeing a growing jar or a neat stack of saved receipts produces a sense of progress that words alone seldom generate. Sensory cues anchor abstract goals into the daily environment. Practice the question of value. Before each non-essential purchase, ask, does this align with priorities? Wait 10 seconds and answer honestly. This is not a rhetorical trick. It is a brief pause that allows the rational mind to check the reflexive one. The pause surfaces doubts and often prevents the purchase. Over time, the pause becomes a habit, a mental gate that filters impulsive spending. This is a stoic technique of intermittent judgment. It builds mastery over impulse by introducing a moment of reflection. Audit recurring charges monthly. Subscriptions are designed to be invisible, to slip through without attention. At least once a month, open the bank statement and list subscriptions and automatic payments. For each one, ask 2 questions. Am I using this? Does it provide value larger than its cost? If the answer to either question is no, cancel. Do not rationalize by imagining future use. Judge by present reality. The financial gains are immediate, and the lesson in conscious consumption is long-lasting. Make cash the standard for a trial period. Use cash for discretionary spending for 30 days. The physical exchange of paper forces decision weight and reduces frictionless spending. When cash runs low, the visual limit disciplines behavior in a way invisible to cards. After the trial, compare totals with previous months. The difference will likely be instructive. Use this method selectively for categories where impulse is strong. Dining out, snacks, small online purchases. Create a system to turn tracking data into decisions. At the end of each month, export the record into a simple table: category, amount, average daily spend, and number of transactions. Identify 3 actionable adjustments for the next month. These are specific choices. Reduce dining out by 25%. Cancel 1 subscription. Freeze online shopping for 2 weeks. Choose adjustments that are realistic and measurable. Implement them as experiments rather than punishments. Experimentation frames change as learning instead of deprivation. Use social commitment for accountability. Share a saving target and tracking method with one trusted person. Send a weekly update. Accountability does not mean exposing mistakes to shame. It means allowing social support to reinforce discipline. A single accountability partner can make omission costly and adherence rewarding. This technique works with a friend, partner, or an online community of people pursuing similar goals. Practice radical honesty in one critical area: post-purchase reflection. When an unnecessary purchase happens, do not justify it with excuses. Write a short note: what was bought, why it felt necessary, and what will prevent repetition. This discipline of honest recording reduces the power of rationalization. When patterns show repeated triggers, stress, certain social contexts, specific times of day, design targeted interventions for those triggers. Measure emotional shifts, as well as financial ones. Tracking reduces anxiety because uncertainty diminishes. Notice the emotional effect of clear records. Less worry when bills arrive, greater confidence planning for future expenses, and increased satisfaction when savings goals are met. Record these subjective changes in the same log. The emotional data will reinforce the habit just as the financial data does. When tracking reveals waste, apply the Stoic question: what is within control? Focus only on actions that can be changed. Choices, habits, pre-commitments. Accept that some costs are fixed or necessary. Direct energy toward altering what is possible. This keeps motivation steady and prevents frustration when confronted with unavoidable expenses. Finally, treat tracking as an ongoing conversation with the self. It is not a one-time audit. It is a continuous feedback loop. The discipline of recording opens the door to deeper financial mastery and to a calmer, more deliberate life. The process trains focus, sharpens values, and builds a future where money serves purpose rather than driving behavior. Small, consistent acts of awareness compound into security and freedom. Track every expense before spending anything, and with that simple rule, begin the quiet work of changing a life. Number 2, automate savings to avoid manual mistakes. Automating savings transforms the act of setting aside money from a conscious struggle into an effortless routine. It removes the need for constant willpower and protects against human error. Manual savings are vulnerable. Bills appear, temptations arise, and life's interruptions derail the best intentions. Automation creates a system where the desired outcome happens regardless of distractions or fatigue. It turns the practice of saving from an optional effort into a guaranteed, disciplined act, aligning perfectly with the principles of consistency and foresight that drive long-term financial success. The first step is understanding the precise flow of income and expenses. Before any automation is put in place, clarity on cash flow is essential. Calculate monthly income after taxes and fixed expenses. Know exactly how much money is genuinely available for discretionary spending and saving. Without this clarity, automation risks overcommitting funds or failing to reach meaningful goals. This initial audit builds the foundation for a system that is both realistic and sustainable. Once the foundation is clear, automation can be set up strategically, ensuring funds move directly from the point of arrival into their designated purposes. Start by establishing separate accounts for savings and spending. A dedicated savings account prevents accidental access and makes progress visible. When savings are mingled with checking or everyday accounts, they are too easy to spend impulsively. Even a simple online savings account, high yield or otherwise, provides the psychological and practical separation necessary for effective accumulation. Link these accounts to your primary checking account, ensuring that transfers can occur without manual intervention. The simplicity of automation lies in removing choice at the moment, letting the system perform the task without emotional involvement. Use recurring transfers timed with income deposits. This could mean setting up a direct transfer the day after a paycheck arrives. By doing this immediately, savings are prioritized before discretionary spending can dilute the intention. Think of it as paying yourself first, a practice rooted in both financial discipline and behavioral insight. Consistency is key. The same amount moving each period establishes predictability, allowing both budgeting and saving to function smoothly. Even small transfers accumulate powerfully over time due to the compounding effect. This approach turns saving from an abstract goal into a concrete, measurable action. Tailor automation to multiple saving goals simultaneously. Long-term objectives, emergency funds, short-term projects, and investment accounts can all benefit from scheduled contributions. Automating across different goals enforces balance and prevents overemphasis on one target at the expense of others. Each goal can have its own dedicated transfer, amount, and frequency. This not only builds multiple streams of financial security but also keeps motivation high, as progress is visible in each area. The visibility of multiple successes reinforces the habit and creates a sense of achievement, even in small increments. Employ incremental increases to build momentum without pain. Begin with a comfortable percentage of income and gradually raise it over time. For example, start with 5% of monthly income, then increase by 1% every few months. These small adjustments minimize the psychological resistance that often accompanies sudden large changes. Incremental increases leverage behavioral psychology by allowing the mind to adapt to new habits naturally. The system evolves without requiring radical lifestyle alterations, yet over months and years, These increases compound into substantial savings growth. Integrate automation with spending controls to maximize impact. Scheduling transfers is effective only if withdrawals are managed carefully. Reduce temptation by limiting easy access to savings accounts. Avoid linking debit cards directly to these accounts and refrain from logging in for casual checking. The fewer interactions with the savings, the less likely they are to be compromised. Automation is powerful precisely because it enforces a structural barrier, ensuring that the discipline embedded in the system is not undermined by momentary impulses or decisions made in haste. Leverage technology to reinforce automation. Many banking and financial apps allow not only scheduled transfers, but also roundup features, which deposit spare change from transactions into savings. Micro-saving strategies turn daily purchases into incremental contributions that feel invisible in the moment, but accumulate significantly over time. Alerts and notifications provide ongoing feedback and a sense of accomplishment, reinforcing the habit psychologically. By integrating these tools, automation extends beyond simple transfers and becomes a sophisticated system that grows silently yet steadily. Consider automatic contributions to investment vehicles as a parallel to standard savings. Contributing regularly to retirement accounts, index funds, or other investment accounts via automated deductions ensures that long-term wealth creation occurs without constant thought or intervention. The combination of regular investing and compounding interest exponentially increases the efficiency of saving. Automation in investing mirrors automation in standard savings, but magnifies impact over longer time horizon. This dual approach, liquid savings for emergencies and investments for growth, creates a comprehensive financial strategy that is both resilient and forward-looking. Address behavioral challenges proactively. Even with automation, human impulses can interfere if spending limits are not respected elsewhere. Treat automation as the backbone of financial discipline, but pair it with conscious awareness of spending patterns. Regularly review accounts, not to micromanage, but to understand trends, celebrate achievements, and identify adjustments. This reflection reinforces motivation and strengthens self-control. The combination of automatic action and conscious awareness ensures that discipline is embedded both structurally and mentally, preventing regression and reinforcing consistent progress. Automation also provides psychological benefits beyond monetary accumulation. Knowing that savings are handled systematically reduces anxiety, frees mental bandwidth, and fosters confidence in financial stability. Life becomes less reactive, as the foundation of savings is no longer dependent on fluctuating motivation or willpower. This sense of security transforms the relationship with money. Spending is intentional, risk is mitigated, and opportunities are recognized with clarity. The emotional freedom gained from automated discipline is often as valuable as the financial growth itself, creating resilience and peace of mind. Make adjustments strategically rather than reactively. Circumstances change, income increases, expenses fluctuate, or goals shift. Revisit automated transfers periodically to ensure alignment with current realities. Rather than abandoning the system when situations change, modify amounts, frequencies, or targets thoughtfully. Strategic adjustments preserve the habit's integrity while keeping progress optimized. Automation is not rigid, it is adaptable. The wisdom lies in maintaining continuity, making deliberate refinements, and resisting impulsive changes that undermine long-term discipline. Track cumulative results to sustain motivation. Maintain a visible record of savings growth over months and years. Charts, spreadsheets, or app summaries show cumulative progress in a tangible way. Observing the incremental buildup reinforces patience and commitment. This transparency also highlights the power of compounding and repeated, disciplined actions. When milestones are celebrated and visualized, the process of saving becomes rewarding in itself. The satisfaction of seeing numbers grow independently of active intervention strengthens adherence and fosters long-term engagement. Integrate automation with broader financial habits. Scheduled transfers work best when combined with budgeting, expense tracking, and thoughtful financial planning. Automation enforces discipline, but gains potency when aligned with broader awareness. Each automated action should serve a purpose, a cushion for emergencies, progress toward larger goals, or building investment portfolios. This coordination ensures that the system operates holistically, reinforcing each component of financial health without relying on intermittent self-control. Automation, in this sense, becomes the spine of a resilient financial structure. Finally, automation embodies a Stoic principle: control what is within reach and remove friction from disciplined action. It channels focus toward decisions that matter and shields against choices that undermine intentions. By automating savings, the mind is freed from repetitive small tasks, allowing energy to focus on strategy, growth, and improvement. The system respects human limitations, converting them into structural advantages. Over time, automated savings cultivate not only wealth but also the habit of deliberate, disciplined, and intelligent action, a core principle that extends far beyond money into all areas of life. By committing to automation, the routine of saving becomes inevitable, predictable, and stress-free. It eliminates error, guards against procrastination, and reinforces long-term goals without constant mental effort. It is not a shortcut. It is a methodical, disciplined, and empowering approach. Each transfer, each deposit, silently compounds, quietly building security, opportunity, and freedom. Automated savings are a promise kept daily to the future self, a tangible manifestation of foresight, discipline, and wisdom. Through this simple yet profound practice, the act of saving transforms from a challenging task into an effortless, reliable, and life-changing habit. Number 3. Cut unnecessary subscriptions without feeling guilty. Cutting unnecessary subscriptions begins with a clear understanding of value versus habit. Many subscriptions quietly drain resources without providing meaningful benefit, yet they persist because cancellation feels inconvenient or guilt-inducing. Recognizing that financial discipline is an act of self-respect rather than deprivation shifts the mindset. Removing a service that does not serve a genuine purpose is not loss. It is liberation. Every dollar reclaimed represents intentionality and freedom, not sacrifice. Approaching subscriptions with this perspective transforms a potentially stressful decision into a powerful tool for reclaiming control over finances and daily life. The first step is identifying every active subscription. This includes obvious recurring charges like streaming services or cloud storage, but also smaller or overlooked automatic payments, apps, membership fees, software, premium content, or hidden trial conversions. Gather all bank statements, payment apps, and credit card records. Review them line by line to spot recurring deductions. The process requires honesty and attention to detail. Often the true cost of subscriptions is underestimated because each payment feels small in isolation. When added together, the cumulative impact can be substantial. Seeing all subscriptions in one place creates clarity and empowers informed decisions. Next, evaluate each subscription by asking one critical question. Does this service contribute meaningful value to my life or goals? Value can take many forms: entertainment that brings relaxation, educational content that builds skills, or productivity tools that save time, are legitimate benefits. Anything that does not align with personal priorities or does not justify its cost becomes a candidate for elimination. This evaluation requires candid self-assessment. Emotional attachment or perceived social expectations should not dictate the decision. The measure of worth is its utility, impact, and alignment with long-term goals, not habit or convenience. Once subscriptions are identified and assessed, create a prioritization list. Rank them according to necessity, frequency of use, and relative cost. This allows for a structured approach to cancellation rather than haphazard removal. High-cost subscriptions with low utility should be addressed first. Mid-cost items that are used occasionally can be reconsidered with a trial or temporary pause. Low-cost but rarely used services can still be removed because small amounts, compounded over months or years, accumulate into significant savings. The act of ranking brings intentionality and reduces the mental burden of decision-making. Cancellation should be treated as a straightforward, guilt-free action. Automating or delegating this process minimizes resistance. Contact providers directly, follow online cancellation steps, or use apps designed to manage subscriptions. It is helpful to prepare a simple script or statement. The service is no longer required. Avoid over-explaining or justifying decisions. The key principle is that money is a limited resource, and prioritization is an act of responsibility. Guilt arises from perceived waste or moral pressure. Reframing cancellation as a conscious choice to align spending with values eliminates unnecessary emotional weight. Pausing subscriptions temporarily can be an intermediate strategy. Many services offer suspend options that maintain access for a set period while halting payments. This approach is particularly useful when uncertainty about immediate need exists. Pausing provides space to evaluate continued relevance without immediate financial commitment. Often the temporary pause reveals that continued usage is unnecessary, making permanent cancellation easier. This strategy also reduces psychological resistance for those who feel hesitant about cutting ties completely, bridging the gap between habit and conscious spending. Monitor the impact of cancellation over time. Track both financial and emotional outcomes. The money saved is tangible, but notice the intangible benefits as well. Less clutter, reduced decision fatigue, and greater alignment with priorities. These results reinforce the habit of regular subscription audits. Seeing the cumulative effect over months highlights the power of small, deliberate actions. The combination of immediate financial gain and psychological relief strengthens motivation, transforming a one-time exercise into a sustainable practice that evolves naturally with changing needs. Combine subscription management with automation for maximum efficiency. Schedule quarterly reviews of recurring charges to ensure continued relevance. Life circumstances, priorities, and needs change. What was valuable 6 months ago may no longer serve the same purpose. Routine checks prevent dormant subscriptions from slipping back into active payments. By integrating a recurring audit into financial planning, unnecessary expenses are preemptively identified, reinforcing discipline without constant effort. The cycle of evaluation, prioritization, and adjustment becomes a seamless, ongoing process rather than a reactive or stressful task. Implement strategic alternatives where needed. For example, shared plans for streaming, family bundles, or group subscriptions can provide necessary services at reduced cost. Evaluate free or lower-cost alternatives without compromising utility. Often, a similar service meets needs at a fraction of the price. The principle is not to eliminate convenience or enjoyment entirely, but to optimize expenditure while maintaining quality of life. Strategic substitution allows financial discipline to coexist with lifestyle satisfaction, demonstrating that cutting subscriptions is a choice of intelligence, not deprivation. Pay attention to psychological triggers behind subscription habits. Impulse sign-ups, marketing strategies, or social influences often drive unnecessary additions. Recognize patterns and develop preventative measures. Unsubscribe from promotional emails, disable auto-renewal, and apply deliberate reflection before agreeing to new services. Every new subscription should pass a moment of conscious evaluation, necessity, frequency of use, cost, and alignment with current priorities. Building this pause into the decision-making process strengthens long-term discipline and prevents the habit of accumulation from recurring unchecked. Recognize the broader lesson embedded in subscription management: intentionality over consumption. Each subscription eliminated reinforces the principle of choice over convenience, value over habit, and self-mastery over passive behavior. The small, repeated act of evaluating, pausing, or canceling a service cultivates a mindset that extends beyond finances. It trains attention, discernment, and deliberate action. Over time, these skills transfer to larger financial decisions, career choices, and lifestyle management. Managing subscriptions becomes a microcosm for lifelong personal discipline. Celebrate progress and reinforce the habit. The act of identifying and eliminating unnecessary subscriptions is itself a demonstration of control and self-respect. Document the money saved and reflect on the alignment with goals achieved. Use these milestones as evidence of capability and a reminder that deliberate action produces measurable results. Recognition reinforces both behavior and mindset, embedding the practice into daily life. Small achievements compound, building confidence to tackle larger financial decisions with equal clarity and resolve. Finally, adopt a proactive approach toward future subscriptions. Maintain a registry or mental checklist for potential additions. Question each opportunity critically. Is this essential? Does it enhance life meaningfully? And does it align with current priorities? Avoid default acceptance or passive consent. Cultivating a habit of conscious evaluation ensures that resources are allocated efficiently and responsibly. Over time, this discipline transforms subscription management from a reactive task into a seamless component of personal governance, creating financial freedom, reduced stress, and greater alignment between spending and value. By removing unnecessary subscriptions, individuals reclaim not only money, but also clarity, focus, and freedom. Each cancellation is a deliberate act of prioritization, a statement of self-respect, and a demonstration of strategic discipline. The cumulative effect of these decisions strengthens financial stability, enhances lifestyle quality, and reinforces the mindset of intentional living. Cutting subscriptions is not about restriction. It is about empowerment. It is the conscious choice to spend resources where they serve purpose, to eliminate friction, and to build a life defined by awareness, control, and deliberate action. This practice, performed regularly and without guilt, lays the foundation for long-term financial health, emotional satisfaction, and the disciplined pursuit of meaningful goals. Number 4. Plan meals to prevent overspending. Food. Planning meals to prevent overspending begins with understanding that food is both a necessity and a significant area where money often leaks unnoticed. Impulsive purchases, frequent dining out, and last-minute convenience items quietly erode budgets. The simple act of intentional planning transforms meals from a reactive, expense-driven activity into a proactive, strategic habit. It gives control over spending, reduces waste, and ensures nutritional and financial goals are aligned. Planning meals is not about restriction. It is about foresight, organization, and turning daily choices into deliberate, beneficial action. The first step is to assess current food habits. Track what is purchased, where and how frequently for at least 2 weeks. Include groceries, dining out, delivery, coffee stops, and snacks. Understanding the full scope of spending creates a clear picture of where money flows unnecessarily. Often, small repetitive expenses like daily takeout or forgotten snacks add up to significant amounts without being consciously recognized. Documenting spending in detail provides a baseline and highlights areas for optimization, making the planning process data-driven rather than arbitrary. Next, define realistic and achievable meal goals. Decide how many meals will be prepared at home versus eaten out. Establish clear parameters for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Consider nutritional balance alongside financial efficiency. A well-structured plan prevents reliance on convenience foods, which are often more expensive and less healthy. Setting achievable targets creates a framework that reduces last-minute, costly decisions and ensures that the household or individual operates with consistency. Clear goals act as a blueprint, guiding shopping and cooking decisions in alignment with both health and budget priorities. Build a weekly meal schedule. Select recipes and dishes that are simple, nutritious, and versatile. Prioritize meals that can use overlapping ingredients to maximize efficiency and minimize waste. For example, a roasted chicken can serve as dinner one night, lunch the next day, and provide ingredients for a salad or soup later in the week. This approach reduces the number of items purchased, decreases the frequency of shopping trips, and maximizes the value of each ingredient. By visualizing the week ahead, impulsive purchases or unnecessary dining out are avoided because the structure is already in place. Create a detailed shopping list based on the meal schedule. Categorize items by type: produce, protein, grains, dairy, pantry staples, and condiments. This method prevents redundant purchases and ensures nothing essential is forgotten. The physical act of writing or generating a list anchors intention and reinforces focus. It reduces the likelihood of being tempted by unplanned items while at the store. Lists serve as a boundary, ensuring that purchases align strictly with what is required, transforming grocery shopping from an open-ended activity into a controlled, purposeful process. Consider bulk purchases and cost-efficient alternatives. Staples, such as rice, beans, pasta, frozen vegetables, and proteins that can be stored safely provide long-term savings. Bulk buying reduces per-unit costs, minimizes trips to the store, and ensures ingredients are always available for planned meals. Pair this with portion planning to prevent food waste, which is another form of financial loss. Measuring portions before cooking and storing extras appropriately extends shelf life and maintains quality, ensuring that every purchase is fully utilized. Integrate meal prep into a routine to reinforce efficiency. Dedicate time once or twice a week to wash, chop, cook, and store ingredients or full meals. Pre-preparation reduces the temptation to eat out due to convenience or time pressure. When meals are ready to go, the default choice becomes the planned, cost-effective option rather than an expensive, unplanned alternative. The consistency of preparation also instills discipline, turning what could be a reactive and chaotic process into a controlled, deliberate practice. Pay attention to pricing strategies and local options, shopping at multiple stores or markets based on deals and seasonal availability can lower costs significantly. However, balance this with the time and effort required. Evaluate whether savings justify additional travel or complexity. Using digital tools such as grocery apps, price comparison websites, or store loyalty programs can streamline decision-making and help identify optimal purchases. Awareness of costs allows for informed choices rather than impulsive reactions, enhancing both efficiency and savings. Incorporate leftovers creatively. Leftover meals are not just convenient, they are economical. Transforming yesterday's dinner into today's lunch or integrating parts into new dishes maximizes the utility of every ingredient. Leftovers also reduce waste and reinforce the principle of resourcefulness. Treating every ingredient as valuable encourages intentionality in both purchasing and preparation. Creative reuse turns a single grocery trip into multiple meals, expanding the impact of each dollar spent while maintaining nutritional variety and satisfaction. Monitor food consumption patterns and adjust the plan as needed. Flexibility within structure is crucial. Life changes, schedules vary, and tastes evolve. Regularly review what worked, what was wasted, and what can be improved. This iterative approach ensures the plan remains practical and effective, rather than rigid or unsustainable. Tracking consumption in tandem with costs provides insight into both behavioral patterns and financial efficiency, reinforcing the habit of thoughtful decision-making. Use sensory awareness to reinforce discipline. When preparing and consuming meals, notice textures, flavors, and satisfaction levels. Mindful eating reduces the compulsion to snack unnecessarily or seek additional purchases to fill perceived gaps. Paying attention to the experience of meals transforms eating from a reactive habit to an intentional act. Satisfaction with planned meals diminishes the appeal of impulsive choices, reinforcing both health and financial objectives. Sensory mindfulness strengthens awareness of needs versus impulses, cultivating deeper self-control in spending and eating. Engage household members or companions in planning. Shared responsibility in selecting, preparing, and storing meals increases accountability and reduces last-minute deviations from the plan. Collaborative planning ensures that everyone's preferences and needs are considered while maintaining overall discipline. This reduces conflicts and increases adherence to the plan, creating a culture of intentional consumption. Social reinforcement amplifies the habit, making it easier to sustain over the long term. Integrate financial tracking with meal planning. Monitor spending on groceries and dining to evaluate the effectiveness of the plan. Comparing projected versus actual costs reveals discrepancies and highlights opportunities for further efficiency. This practice links action to outcome, creating feedback loops that reinforce accountability. Over time, consistent tracking demonstrates patterns, validates strategies, and empowers smarter, data-informed decisions. Awareness of the financial impact of food choices strengthens commitment and ensures that planning directly benefits both nutrition and budget goals. Finally, recognize meal planning as a form of proactive self-management. It cultivates foresight, reduces impulsivity, and aligns daily actions with broader objectives. Each planned meal, Each intentional grocery purchase represents a conscious choice rather than an accident of convenience. Over weeks and months, this practice generates substantial savings while simultaneously improving health, reducing waste, and reinforcing discipline. Meal planning becomes not just a cost-saving strategy, but a life skill, fostering control, awareness, and the ability to make deliberate, meaningful choices consistently. By planning meals thoughtfully, spending becomes purposeful, food waste diminishes, and financial resources are preserved. This practice transforms daily routines into deliberate, optimized actions that align with goals and values. The discipline developed in meal planning extends beyond the kitchen, influencing broader habits and decisions. Each intentional choice compounds over time, creating a foundation of efficiency, mindfulness, and financial resilience. Planning meals is not merely about managing food. It is a strategy for cultivating control, clarity, and sustainable success in everyday life. Number 5. Set clear goals for monthly saving. Setting clear goals for monthly saving is the cornerstone of financial mastery and personal discipline. Without explicit targets, money drifts away unnoticed, leaving intentions unfulfilled and frustration high. Goals transform vague aspirations into tangible outcomes. They provide direction, define priorities, and serve as a benchmark for accountability. When savings targets are clear, every decision regarding spending or investment gains context. The act of setting a goal is not just numerical, it is an exercise in self-mastery, foresight, and alignment with long-term objectives. The first step is to understand exactly how much can realistically be saved each month. Examine income, fixed expenses, and variable costs in detail. Include rent, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, and discretionary spending. Deduct all obligations from net income to determine the true available amount for saving. This clarity ensures goals are achievable, rather than aspirational in a way that breeds frustration. Knowing your financial reality allows you to set objectives that are both ambitious and realistic, creating a foundation for disciplined action. Once the baseline is established, define the purpose of the savings. Goals gain power when they are tied to specific outcomes. Whether it's building an emergency fund, preparing for a significant purchase, funding education, or investing for the future, purpose strengthens commitment. Without a clear reason, money saved may feel abstract and less motivating. Writing down the reason for saving creates emotional and cognitive reinforcement, converting abstract numbers into meaningful targets. Each deposit then becomes a conscious contribution toward a tangible outcome, rather than a vague act of withholding. Break the overarching goal into measurable monthly targets. Annual ambitions can feel distant and overwhelming. Dividing them into smaller, monthly objectives makes progress trackable and psychologically rewarding. Calculate how much needs to be saved each month to reach the larger target within the desired time frame. This converts ambition into concrete action. Small, consistent efforts are far more effective than sporadic, large contributions. The regularity of monthly goals fosters habit formation and instills a disciplined rhythm, making saving a predictable and automatic part of life. Implement a system to monitor progress consistently. Maintain a dedicated savings log or spreadsheet, noting deposits, interest accrued, and cumulative totals. Observing growth, even in small increments, reinforces the habit and provides motivation to continue. The visibility of results creates a positive feedback loop, strengthening commitment to the goal. Each update is not merely administrative. It is a moment of reflection, a checkpoint that aligns behavior with intent, and an opportunity to adjust strategies if shortfalls occur. Segment savings into distinct categories when multiple objectives exist. For instance, maintain separate allocations for emergency funds, investments, and specific short-term goals. This prevents a single pot from being overextended or misused. Clear segmentation enhances clarity, accountability, and decision-making. It ensures that progress toward each goal remains visible and measurable, avoiding the pitfall of conflating resources and underestimating needs. Segmentation transforms a monolithic savings account into a precise, organized system that mirrors priorities and enforces discipline. Automate contributions wherever possible. Align transfers with the day income arrives to ensure the act of saving precedes discretionary spending. Automation reduces reliance on willpower and prevents accidental neglect or procrastination. By making savings automatic, the system removes friction, guarantees consistency, and converts intention into action without requiring repetitive decision-making. Over time, automated contributions cultivate trust in the system and reinforce confidence in one's ability to achieve targets, reducing stress and enhancing control over personal finances. Set incremental challenges to maintain engagement and encourage growth. Gradually increase monthly savings targets as circumstances permit. Even small adjustments compound into substantial results over time. Incremental improvements build momentum while minimizing resistance and preserving sustainability. Each increase reinforces a mindset of continuous improvement, aligning with the principle that mastery emerges from deliberate, consistent effort rather than dramatic, unsustainable leaps. By scaling gradually, goals remain attainable, motivation is preserved, and progress accelerates naturally. Regularly review and adjust goals in response to changing circumstances. Income fluctuations, unexpected expenses, or new priorities may necessitate modifications. Reviewing targets monthly ensures they remain realistic and relevant, preventing discouragement or stagnation. Adjustments should be intentional rather than reactive, maintaining structure while adapting to reality. Flexibility within a disciplined framework ensures goals continue to serve as actionable guides rather than rigid rules, fostering resilience and strategic foresight in financial planning. Incorporate visualization and mental reinforcement techniques. Imagine the outcome of consistent saving, the security of an emergency fund, the achievement of a major purchase, or the freedom provided by accumulated wealth. Visualization transforms abstract effort into emotionally resonant experiences. This mental rehearsal strengthens determination, sustains focus, and provides motivation during challenging moments when immediate gratification may tempt deviation. Connecting emotional investment with financial action makes the process more compelling and meaningful, reinforcing the long-term benefits of disciplined behavior. Engage accountability mechanisms to reinforce commitment. Share targets with a trusted individual or financial mentor, providing periodic updates on progress. Social accountability enhances adherence by creating external recognition and support, which strengthens internal motivation. The act of reporting to another person transforms private intention into a shared commitment, increasing the cost of deviation and reinforcing the value of consistency. Accountability is a psychological tool that magnifies the effectiveness of well-defined goals by linking personal achievement to observable responsibility. Cultivate a habit of reflecting on successes and lessons. At the end of each month, review what worked, identify obstacles encountered, and determine how to improve the upcoming cycle. Reflection ensures that the process evolves intelligently, transforming mistakes into opportunities for growth. Each reflection reinforces awareness, deepens understanding of spending behaviors, and strengthens future performance. By analyzing outcomes systematically, goals cease to be static benchmarks and instead become dynamic instruments of continuous improvement and strategic learning. Combine goal setting with behavior-driven adjustments. Identify habits that support or undermine monthly savings. Reduce discretionary expenditures that conflict with objectives. Optimize income streams and create environmental cues that encourage disciplined action. Align daily behaviors with monthly goals to make progress inevitable rather than tentative. This integrated approach links planning, action, and reflection into a cohesive cycle, reinforcing self-discipline and magnifying the effectiveness of each saved dollar. Finally, recognize that the act of setting clear goals is itself transformative. It develops foresight, sharpens priorities, and strengthens the capacity for delayed gratification. Clarity in objectives generates mental focus, reduces impulsive spending, and provides a roadmap for making intentional financial decisions. Monthly savings goals are not merely numerical targets. They are instruments of self-mastery, reinforcing a mindset of responsibility, resilience, and strategic foresight. Each month's achievement builds confidence and capability, compounding into both financial security and personal empowerment. By establishing clear monthly savings goals, every decision around money gains context, purpose, and direction. The practice converts abstract intentions into structured action, turning desire into achievement. Consistent adherence produces tangible results, nurtures discipline, and fosters a sense of control over one's financial destiny. Over time, the habit of goal-driven saving becomes self-sustaining, embedding principles of foresight, responsibility, and intentional living into daily life. Setting clear goals is not just about accumulating funds. It is a method for cultivating patience, focus, and the enduring ability to act with purpose in every aspect of life. Number 6. Review bills monthly for hidden charges. Reviewing bills monthly for hidden charges is a practice that separates financial control from financial drift. Many individuals pay their bills on autopilot, assuming correctness without verification. This passive approach quietly undermines budgets, because even small unnoticed charges accumulate over time, draining resources without awareness. Monthly review transforms bill payment from a routine, unconscious activity into a deliberate, insightful process. It reveals errors, unnecessary fees, and opportunities for savings, while instilling vigilance and discipline. Engaging actively with bills is a form of self-mastery, turning routine obligations into strategic exercises in financial awareness. The first step is to gather all recurring bills, utility statements, phone and internet accounts, insurance premiums, subscriptions, credit card statements, loan repayments, and any automatic service charges. Include digital payments and app-based subscriptions, as these are frequently overlooked. Consolidating all statements in one place creates a comprehensive view of outgoing cash flows and highlights patterns. This practice ensures that no charge is missed and provides a clear foundation for analysis. Awareness begins with visibility, and visibility begins with organization. Next, examine each bill line by line. Check for discrepancies between the current and previous months, looking for unusual increases or unexpected items. Hidden charges often appear as service fees, maintenance costs, small penalties, or rounding adjustments. Even seemingly insignificant amounts can accumulate into a meaningful sum when repeated monthly. Approach this review systematically, treating each line item as a question. Is this charge legitimate, necessary, and accurate? The habit of questioning ensures no expense is accepted passively and trains the mind to detect irregularities before they become costly. Compare bills against service agreements or contracts. Many fees appear due to outdated plans, unused services, or automatic upgrades. Understanding the terms of agreements allows one to identify charges that are no longer applicable or that could be renegotiated. For example, cable packages may include channels never watched, or internet plans may automatically increase after an introductory period. Awareness of these details equips one to act decisively, canceling unnecessary components or negotiating better terms. Reviewing contracts alongside statements provides clarity and empowers informed decision-making. Track trends over time. Maintain a record of each month's bills, noting the amounts and any unusual fluctuations. Trend analysis highlights gradual increases that often go unnoticed. A small repeated charge each month may escape attention until it becomes significant. Identifying trends enables proactive action, calling service providers to adjust plans, disputing erroneous charges, or budgeting accurately for predictable increases. Over time, this historical perspective strengthens understanding of spending patterns and builds a proactive rather than reactive approach to finance. Use the review process to identify opportunities for cost reduction. Examine each service critically. Is there a cheaper plan that meets the same needs? Are there loyalty discounts or promotional offers available? For utility accounts, investigate energy-saving options or efficiency programs that reduce costs. Credit card or banking fees may be eliminated by changing accounts or negotiating terms. By treating every bill as an opportunity to optimize spending, review transforms routine obligations into active steps toward financial efficiency. Establish a monthly routine for bill review. Select a consistent day each month to examine statements thoroughly. Routine creates habit, and habit reduces the chance of oversight. Set aside uninterrupted time to analyze each statement carefully, ensuring full attention to detail. Consistency and timing ensures that anomalies are spotted quickly, enabling prompt action. This practice reinforces discipline and strengthens the mindset of active financial stewardship, turning bill review into a non-negotiable aspect of personal management. Automate alerts and notifications to support review. Many financial institutions and service providers offer notifications for new charges, upcoming payments, or unusual account activity. Enable these alerts to gain real-time awareness of spending and potential errors. Notifications function as a first layer of defense, complementing the monthly review by flagging issues early. Leveraging technology reduces the mental burden of monitoring accounts continuously and ensures that potential discrepancies are addressed before they escalate. Document findings and follow up on discrepancies immediately. When a questionable charge is identified, contact the provider promptly. Request clarification, dispute errors, or negotiate adjustments. Prompt action increases the likelihood of a favorable outcome and reinforces personal accountability. Keep records of communications and resolutions to maintain accountability and ensure that recurring issues are tracked effectively. The act of documentation strengthens the review process, providing evidence and creating a structured system for addressing inconsistency. Consider bundling or consolidating services to simplify monitoring and reduce charges. Multiple small subscriptions or accounts increase the chance of oversight. By consolidating services where feasible, bills become easier to review and manage, and opportunities for discounts often emerge. For example, combining multiple insurance policies under one provider or streamlining streaming services reduces complexity while maintaining or improving service quality. Simplification enhances clarity, reduces friction, and strengthens the habit of regular monitoring. Incorporate the review process into a broader financial strategy. Bill review is not just about identifying errors. It also serves as a lens for evaluating overall financial health. It provides insight into consumption habits, the balance between fixed and discretionary expenses, and potential areas for growth or improvement. By linking bill analysis with budgeting, savings goals, and investment planning, the practice becomes an integral part of holistic financial management. Monthly review reinforces awareness, discipline, and strategic thinking, ensuring that money is allocated intentionally and efficiently. Train oneself to recognize patterns of hidden charges. Many fees recur in predictable ways: late payment penalties, surcharges, administrative fees, or automatic renewals. Learning to anticipate these charges reduces surprises and allows for proactive mitigation. Establish checklists or templates that guide the review process, ensuring consistent examination of each category of service. Over time, the mind becomes adept at spotting irregularities quickly, strengthening vigilance, and reducing the cognitive load required for careful monitoring. Balance vigilance with practicality. Not every small discrepancy requires immediate escalation, but awareness of patterns allows for informed judgment about which charges are significant. Focus attention on items that cumulatively impact budgets meaningfully or signal systemic issues. Developing this sense of prioritization prevents the process from becoming overwhelming while maintaining effectiveness. Strategic attention ensures that effort invested in review produces maximum benefit, both in savings and in cultivating disciplined financial habits. Recognize the psychological benefits of regular review. Knowledge of every outgoing charge reduces anxiety and uncertainty. Confidence grows when spending is transparent and controlled, and stress diminishes when no surprises appear on statements. This sense of mastery extends beyond finances, fostering a mindset of vigilance, responsibility, and proactive management in other areas of life. The act of reviewing bills is not merely administrative. It builds confidence, awareness, and a foundation for consistent, intentional living. Finally, embrace bill review as a routine act of self-respect and financial empowerment. Each check, each correction, each adjustment reinforces the principle that money is a tool to be managed deliberately, not passively endured. The habit of monthly review develops acute attention to detail, sharpens judgment, and builds resilience against error and exploitation. Over time, this practice compounds, producing significant savings, fostering accountability, and reinforcing a disciplined, intentional approach to all financial decisions. By reviewing bills monthly for hidden charges, individuals protect resources, optimize expenditures, and cultivate mastery over financial life. The practice transforms a mundane, routine task into a deliberate, strategic, and empowering exercise. Every review strengthens awareness, prevents waste, and creates an environment of intentionality, security, and resilience. Regular vigilance over bills is not merely a task. It is a principle of disciplined living, a tool for self-mastery, and a path to sustained financial well-being. Number 7. Use cash envelopes to control spending. Using cash envelopes to control spending is a tangible, disciplined approach that transforms abstract budgets into physical, actionable systems. Many people struggle to stick to financial plans because digital numbers on a screen feel disconnected from reality. Cash creates a physical representation of limits, making each expenditure real and immediate. It introduces a built-in boundary that is impossible to ignore. The envelope system converts theoretical intentions into hands-on accountability, turning the act of spending into a conscious, deliberate decision rather than a passive, impulsive reaction. The first step is to categorize monthly expenses into specific groups. Common categories include groceries, dining out, entertainment, transportation, and personal care. Each category becomes a separate envelope, holding only the cash allocated for that purpose. The key is to define boundaries clearly, ensuring that each envelope contains the maximum allowed for its category. This segmentation provides clarity, encourages prioritization, and eliminates ambiguity about how much can be spent in any area. The physical separation mirrors mental boundaries, reinforcing conscious awareness at the point of decision-making. Determine the appropriate amount of cash for each envelope by reviewing past spending and aligning with realistic limits. Examine previous months to identify average expenditures in each category. Then set intentional limits that promote both discipline and flexibility. The process requires honesty. Overestimating weakens the system, while underestimating creates unnecessary stress. Allocating the right amount of cash ensures envelopes function as a practical tool rather than an unrealistic constraint. By grounding the system in actual behavior, spending control becomes sustainable and actionable. Once envelopes are prepared, commit to using them exclusively for their intended purposes. Every purchase in a category should draw from the corresponding envelope, making overspending immediately visible. This physical restriction provides immediate feedback. When an envelope is empty, spending stops. Unlike digital accounts, which can feel abstract, running out of cash creates a clear, unambiguous signal. The tactile nature of cash reinforces self-control, transforming each transaction into a deliberate choice. Over time, this builds both awareness and restraint, creating a deeply ingrained habit of conscious spending. Address flexibility proactively. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes funds need to shift between categories. Establish a method for transferring money between envelopes, if necessary, but do so deliberately and sparingly. Each transfer should be intentional, reflecting conscious prioritization rather than reactive impulse. This preserves the discipline of the system while accommodating real-world fluctuations. Treating transfers as exceptions rather than defaults maintains the integrity of the cash envelope strategy and reinforces thoughtful decision-making. Monitor spending within each envelope consistently. Record transactions either directly on the envelope or in a companion notebook. Documenting expenditures provides insight into patterns and highlights areas of potential improvement. Over time, tracking combined with physical cash limits creates heightened financial awareness. Awareness is the foundation of behavior change. By seeing exactly where money is going, individuals can make informed adjustments and prevent recurring overspending. This habit of reflection strengthens both discipline and strategy. Plan ahead for irregular expenses. Some spending occurs monthly but is not part of the routine, such as quarterly insurance premiums, gifts, or special events. Allocate a separate envelope or save incrementally within a monthly envelope for these periodic expenses. Anticipating these costs prevents disruption to regular spending and ensures that all financial obligations are addressed without resorting to debt or overspending. Preparation reinforces foresight and reduces reactive financial behaviors, keeping the system robust and reliable. Use the cash envelope system to cultivate a mindset of scarcity awareness and intentionality. When the physical money is finite, each decision gains weight. Individuals begin to evaluate purchases more critically. Do I truly need this item? Is it worth depleting my resources here? Or should I conserve for something more important? This process sharpens discernment, encouraging thoughtful choices rather than impulsive gratification. Over time, spending becomes a reflection of priorities rather than habit, building both financial discipline and self-mastery. Combine the envelope system with saving strategies. For example, create a buffer envelope or miscellaneous savings category to capture leftover cash at the end of the month. Surplus money can then be redirected toward emergency funds, long-term goals, or investment accounts. This approach leverages physical cash, not just for expenditure control, but also for deliberate accumulation. By linking conscious spending to savings growth, envelopes transform from a defensive mechanism into a proactive tool for building financial security and long-term wealth. Leverage psychological reinforcement through visualization. Seeing envelopes deplete or maintain balance provides immediate feedback on behavior, reinforcing habits positively or negatively. The tangible experience of money flowing in and out teaches delayed gratification and strengthens self-regulation. Physical handling of cash engages attention in ways digital transactions cannot, heightening awareness and promoting accountability. The visual and tactile experience fosters both immediate recognition of limits and long-term reinforcement of financial discipline. Integrate the envelope system into a broader financial framework. Align cash allocation with budgeted goals, debt repayment schedules, and investment strategies. For instance, consider a dedicated envelope for debt repayment to complement automated transfers for savings or investments. By coordinating cash management with overall financial planning, envelopes serve not only as spending controls, but as part of a holistic system designed to optimize resources and advance long-term objectives. This integration amplifies the impact of discipline across multiple financial dimensions. Encourage reflection and monthly evaluation. At the end of each cycle, review each envelope to assess adherence, overspending, and surplus. Identify patterns that indicate areas for adjustment, such as recurring shortfalls in groceries or consistent leftover cash in entertainment. Use these insights to refine allocations, plan more effectively, and maintain realistic targets. Continuous evaluation ensures that the system evolves with changing habits, needs, and financial circumstances, reinforcing a culture of adaptability and awareness. Foster accountability and habit reinforcement. Share the system or results with a trusted partner, friend, or mentor, enhancing commitment and motivation. External recognition strengthens internal discipline, making adherence more likely. Discussing strategies, successes, and challenges provides perspective and encourages creative solutions for maintaining balance. Accountability combined with tangible money management creates a layered structure of reinforcement that cultivates consistent and sustainable behavior change. Incorporate mindful consumption practices alongside cash envelopes. Treat each transaction as a deliberate decision rather than a reflexive act. Consider the necessity, value, and opportunity cost of every purchase. Mindful awareness strengthens the effectiveness of the envelope system by aligning behavior with intentionality. Over time, this practice nurtures the habit of evaluating choices critically, extending disciplined decision-making into areas beyond daily spending, such as lifestyle, career, and personal development. Finally, recognize that the envelope system is a training ground for broader financial mastery. It teaches restraint, foresight, and deliberate prioritization. Each withdrawal, each limit, and each carefully considered purchase builds mental and behavioral resilience. The system reinforces the principle that discipline is not about deprivation, but about choice. The choice act consciously, manage resources effectively, and align spending with long-term goals. It converts abstract financial plans into lived, tactile experiences that produce both practical results and personal growth. By using cash envelopes to control spending, individuals cultivate deliberate habits, heighten awareness, and establish accountability in everyday transactions. The practice transforms passive money handling into active management, fosters self-discipline, and provides immediate visual feedback on financial behavior. Over time, the system strengthens judgment, prioritization, and foresight, creating a foundation of conscious decision-making and financial resilience. Cash envelopes are not simply a budgeting tool, they are a method of training attention, reinforcing discipline, and empowering consistent, intentional financial action. Number 8. Prioritize high-interest debts first always. Prioritizing high-interest debts first is a strategic approach that directly reduces financial strain and accelerates freedom from obligations. Debt, when mismanaged, compounds silently, draining resources and creating stress. Not all debt is equal. Some accrues interest at rates that can quickly outweigh efforts to save or invest. By focusing on eliminating the most expensive liabilities first, individuals regain control over their finances more efficiently, reduce long-term costs, and create momentum that reinforces disciplined behavior. This method transforms debt repayment from reactive stress management into a purposeful, actionable strategy. The first step is identifying all debts and cataloging their interest rates, minimum payments, and balances. Credit cards, personal loans, payday loans, and high-interest installment accounts should all be included. Understanding the exact terms of each obligation is essential because misclassification or overlooking details can derail repayment strategy. This analysis requires honesty and precision. Gathering statements and confirming figures ensures a complete picture. When debts are organized by interest rate rather than balance, it becomes immediately clear which obligations pose the greatest financial threat. Once high-interest debts are identified, calculate the total cost over time if only minimum payments are made. This highlights the impact of interest and demonstrates how delaying repayment increases financial burden. For example, a credit card with a 24% interest rate will accumulate more in fees than a personal loan at 8%, even if the balances are similar. Quantifying the consequences provides motivation and clarity, making the choice to prioritize high-interest debts not only logical but urgent. Awareness of the cost of inaction transforms repayment from abstract responsibility into tangible necessity. Allocate as much surplus income as possible toward the highest interest debt while maintaining minimum payments on other obligations. Directing extra funds toward the most expensive liability accelerates payoff and reduces total interest paid. This method creates a snowball of momentum. As one debt is eliminated, resources are freed to tackle the next high-interest account with increased capacity. The focus is on efficiency, rather than simply eradicating balances randomly. Concentrated effort produces measurable results quickly, reinforcing both confidence and commitment to long-term financial discipline. Maintain a strict budget to support accelerated repayment. Reducing discretionary spending and reallocating funds toward debt creates the necessary resources for high-interest obligations. Every dollar diverted from unnecessary purchases compounds the impact, directly shortening repayment timelines. Budgeting in this context is not about deprivation. It is a conscious reallocation of resources toward freedom and stability. Aligning day-to-day behavior with repayment goals transforms abstract objectives into practical, actionable decisions that produce immediate benefits and long-term outcomes. Use automation to maintain consistency in payments. Schedule recurring transfers for minimum payments and additional contributions toward high-interest debt. Automation reduces the risk of missed payments, late fees, or procrastination, ensuring that progress is continuous and predictable. By removing reliance on willpower, the system enforces discipline, converts intent into action, and prevents setbacks caused by human error. Over time, automatic payments create a rhythm of accountability, reinforcing the habit of prioritizing critical financial obligations without constant mental effort. Avoid accumulating new high-interest debt while repaying existing balances. Resist the temptation of credit cards, payday loans, or other high-cost borrowing during this period. Every new debt interrupts progress and undermines the benefits of prioritization. Establishing boundaries and developing awareness of spending triggers are critical. By maintaining focus on reduction rather than accumulation, individuals preserve the structural integrity of their financial strategy. Discipline in this area ensures that repayment efforts yield maximum benefit without being compromised by short-term impulses or external pressures. Consider negotiating interest rates or refinancing when possible. While prioritization focuses on paying off high-interest accounts, reducing the rate itself amplifies efficiency. Contact lenders to discuss lower rates, promotional balance transfers, or refinancing options that preserve the repayment trajectory while lowering cost. Strategic intervention complements disciplined repayment, enhancing results without requiring additional income. This proactive approach demonstrates both awareness and agency, ensuring that every element of debt management contributes optimally to financial recovery. Monitor progress consistently to sustain motivation. Track balances, interest savings, and the timeline toward debt freedom. Visual representation, whether through charts or simple spreadsheets, creates tangible evidence of progress and reinforces commitment. Recognizing incremental victories strengthens resolve, turning repayment from a daunting task into a series of achievable milestones. Each reduction in principal is not just a financial success, it is an affirmation of discipline, foresight, and deliberate action. Maintaining awareness of progress sustains momentum and prevents discouragement. Integrate the principle of high-interest prioritization into broader financial habits. Pair aggressive repayment with savings for emergencies to prevent future reliance on expensive credit. By simultaneously building a small buffer and tackling the costliest debt, individuals avoid repeating cycles of financial stress. Strategic alignment of repayment and contingency planning ensures that long-term stability grows alongside immediate progress. High-interest debt becomes a manageable, controlled variable within a comprehensive system of financial governance. Cultivate a mindset rooted in delayed gratification. Prioritizing high-interest debt often requires temporarily limiting discretionary spending or postponing lifestyle upgrades. Understanding that each sacrifice accelerates freedom reinforces psychological resilience. Viewing repayment as an investment in personal autonomy, rather than deprivation, transforms behavior and strengthens long-term self-control. This mental framework reduces emotional friction, turning difficult choices into deliberate, purposeful steps toward independence and financial mastery. Plan for post-repayment allocation strategically. Once high-interest debts are eliminated, redirect funds toward medium or low-interest obligations, savings, or investments. The momentum built during high-interest repayment can propel accelerated progress in other areas, amplifying long-term financial growth. Planning this transition in advance ensures continuity and reinforces the value of prioritization. By converting resources that were previously consumed by interest into productive financial tools, the impact of disciplined behavior compounds exponentially. Address emotional factors that may impede repayment. Debt often carries psychological weight, including guilt, shame, or anxiety. Treat these emotions as signals rather than barriers. Confronting debt with clarity, transparency, and structured action reduces stress and replaces passive worry with productive engagement. Prioritization of high-interest debts provides a visible, actionable path forward, creating psychological relief as progress is made tangible. Emotional resilience grows alongside financial discipline, reinforcing confidence in decision-making and self-management. Leverage accountability systems to enhance adherence. Share repayment targets with a trusted advisor, partner, or mentor. Periodic check-ins provide external reinforcement, increasing the likelihood of sustained focus and disciplined action. Accountability transforms internal intentions into socially reinforced commitments, which magnifies effectiveness. The combination of self-directed strategy and external validation strengthens adherence, reduces procrastination, and fosters consistent, intentional behavior. Finally, recognize prioritization of high-interest debt as a form of self-empowerment. Each payment reduces the influence of external obligations on personal freedom. Discipline in this area is not merely financial, it cultivates skills of focus, patience, and strategic foresight that apply to multiple life domains. The consistent elimination of costly debt builds confidence, reinforces deliberate action, and lays a foundation for future financial independence. Prioritizing the most expensive liabilities first accelerates recovery, maximizes resources, and instills a mindset of control, responsibility, and purposeful action. By always addressing high-interest debts first, individuals transform repayment from a reactive burden into a proactive, strategic endeavor. Each dollar applied produces maximum impact, cumulative momentum is created, and financial freedom is accelerated. The approach cultivates foresight, discipline, and resilience, creating not only immediate monetary relief, but also long-lasting habits that support broader financial mastery. Prioritizing high-interest debt is a deliberate, intentional, and empowering practice that converts constraint into opportunity and strengthens control over one's financial destiny. Number 9. Allocate windfalls directly into savings accounts. Allocating windfalls directly into savings accounts is a transformative habit that elevates financial discipline and accelerates wealth accumulation. Unexpected income, bonuses, tax refunds, gifts, or inheritances often triggers impulsive spending. The sudden availability of money creates temptation, leading many to indulge in immediate gratification rather than leveraging these opportunities for long-term security. Redirecting windfalls into dedicated savings accounts transforms fleeting financial luck into sustainable advantage, converting chance into deliberate action. This habit not only preserves value, but also strengthens the mindset required for consistent financial growth and self-mastery. The first step is to recognize all potential sources of windfalls. Bonuses from work, performance incentives, monetary gifts, investment dividends, or even side hustle profits qualify as windfalls when they exceed expected or routine income. The key distinction is that these funds are unanticipated or extraordinary relative to regular earnings. Treating these resources differently from everyday income is essential because it sets the stage for intentional allocation rather than reactive consumption. Understanding the nature of windfalls allows for a structured, principled approach to handling them effectively. Establish dedicated savings accounts to receive windfalls. Segregation of funds prevents mixing with daily operational money and ensures visibility. These accounts should be easily accessible but not so convenient that temptation to spend is constant. Consider naming the accounts according to purpose: emergency fund, future investment, retirement, or large goals to create psychological reinforcement. The act of designating space for windfalls transforms abstract financial intentions into concrete, actionable structures. Physical and digital separation reinforces the idea that these funds serve specific, intentional purposes rather than impulsive whims. Adopt a disciplined allocation strategy. Decide in advance what percentage of windfalls will be saved, invested, or used for discretionary purposes. A simple rule might be directing the majority, such as 70 to 100%, into savings, leaving a smaller portion for immediate enjoyment. The exact ratio depends on personal goals and financial circumstances, but the principle is to prioritize long-term benefit over short-term indulgence. This intentional pre-planning reduces emotional decision-making and ensures that windfalls consistently contribute to meaningful objectives. Allocation rules create a framework that transforms randomness into predictability, producing compounding benefits over time. Automate the process whenever possible. Many banks allow direct deposits or automatic transfers into designated savings accounts. By removing manual steps, the system reduces the likelihood of impulsive diversion. Automation ensures consistency, reliability, and a frictionless experience. The act of automatic allocation converts intention into action without relying solely on self-discipline during moments of temptation. Over time, automation reinforces the behavior, creating a habitual and nearly effortless process for channeling windfalls into productive financial avenues. Integrate windfall allocation with broader financial goals. Unexpected income should not exist in isolation, but rather as a tool to accelerate pre-established plans, contribute to emergency funds to create security, bolster retirement accounts to secure the future, or invest in opportunities that align with long-term strategies. The impact of each windfall multiplies when aligned with purpose, converting transient gains into durable outcomes. Strategic use of windfalls integrates chance occurrences with disciplined planning, transforming fortuity into meaningful progress toward financial objectives. Avoid the psychological trap of reward spending immediately. While it may seem harmless to indulge partially, delaying gratification reinforces self-control and strengthens financial resilience. Small indulgences can be incorporated mindfully, but the bulk of the windfall should remain intact to maximize its effect. This restraint builds discipline over time and conditions the mind to associate sudden wealth with opportunity for growth, rather than instant consumption. Learning to separate emotional impulses from rational action is crucial in creating lasting financial advantage. Track and document the impact of allocated windfalls. Maintain a record of deposits, contributions to savings goals, and cumulative growth over time. Visibility reinforces the value of the strategy and provides tangible proof of progress. Observing the positive trajectory increases motivation and commitment, creating a feedback loop that strengthens adherence. The tangible documentation of growth converts abstract gains into concrete achievement, enhancing both financial literacy and psychological satisfaction. Use windfalls to reinforce positive financial behaviors elsewhere. When unexpected funds are applied to savings, it sets a precedent for handling regular income with similar discipline. The habit of prioritizing long-term benefit over short-term satisfaction generalizes beyond windfalls, influencing everyday spending, budgeting, and investment decisions. This ripple effect strengthens overall financial intelligence, fostering a consistent mindset of intentionality and foresight. Each windfall becomes a training mechanism for broader self-mastery. Incorporate reflection and planning into the windfall allocation process. Evaluate how each windfall contributes to overarching goals and consider adjustments for future occurrences. Did the allocation accelerate progress toward a major objective? Could the ratio between savings and discretionary use be improved? Continuous assessment ensures that the practice evolves intelligently, responding to changing circumstances and optimizing impact. Reflection transforms an act of chance into a structured habit with measurable outcomes, reinforcing strategic thinking and adaptive financial management. Consider leveraging windfalls for debt reduction strategically. If high-interest debt exists, directing part of unexpected income toward repayment can generate immediate financial relief and compound savings by reducing interest accrual. Applying windfalls in this manner exemplifies proactive prioritization, using transient resources to neutralize costly obligations. By channeling windfalls into high-impact areas, each monetary boost produces multiple benefits simultaneously, reducing risk, increasing security, and accelerating financial freedom. Cultivate gratitude and mindfulness in handling windfalls. Recognize the opportunity presented by sudden gains, and approach allocation with deliberate intention rather than impulsive emotion. Mindful engagement reinforces awareness of resources, promotes disciplined decision-making, and prevents wasteful expenditure. Treating windfalls with respect heightens psychological satisfaction and strengthens the habit of conscious money management. The combination of gratitude and discipline transforms unexpected funds from fleeting pleasure into purposeful empowerment. Engage accountability mechanisms to maintain adherence. Sharing windfall allocation strategies with a trusted advisor, financial partner, or mentor creates external reinforcement. Periodic reviews ensure consistency, provide feedback, and encourage sustained commitment to principles. Social accountability amplifies internal discipline, making adherence more likely and enhancing the probability that windfalls are used optimally, rather than dissipated through impulse. The support network strengthens focus and encourages long-term strategic thinking. Recognize the cumulative impact of repeated windfall allocation. Over months and years, consistent redirection of unexpected gains compounds, producing significant financial security and accelerated goal attainment. The practice converts randomness into systematic growth, ensuring that chance events contribute measurably to wealth accumulation. Small, disciplined actions repeated consistently create momentum, illustrating the principle that consistency and foresight outweigh the magnitude of individual events in building financial strength. Finally, view windfall allocation as a practice of empowerment and foresight. Each deposit into savings reflects intentionality, self-control, and strategic action. Over time, the habit fosters confidence, resilience, and mastery over financial life. By consistently directing windfalls into savings, individuals transform the unpredictability of opportunity into a predictable path of growth, security, and freedom. The approach reinforces discipline, strengthens planning skills, and converts fleeting fortune into enduring benefit, establishing a foundation for financial independence and intentional living. By allocating windfalls directly into savings accounts, individuals maximize unexpected gains, reduce impulsive spending, and reinforce long-term financial habits. The practice converts chance into deliberate advantage, strengthens discipline, and builds momentum toward personal and financial goals. Over time, the accumulation of these decisions produces substantial security, autonomy, and capacity to act intentionally. Windfalls become instruments of strategy rather than fleeting pleasure, cultivating control, foresight, and empowerment in everyday financial life. Number 10. Compare prices before every significant purchase. Comparing prices before every significant purchase is a powerful habit that combines patience, awareness, and strategic thinking to optimize spending. In a world where convenience often comes at a premium, failing to evaluate options can lead to unnecessary overspending. Large purchases, whether electronics, appliances, furniture, or even vehicles, represent substantial allocations of resources. Each decision carries not only immediate financial implications, but also long-term effects on savings potential and financial security. By cultivating the discipline to research, evaluate, and compare, every purchase becomes an intentional act aligned with broader goals, rather than an impulsive transaction. The first step is defining what qualifies as a significant purchase. While minor everyday expenses may not require extensive research, any expenditure that represents a noticeable portion of income or has a long-term impact should trigger careful consideration. Categorizing purchases by their financial weight or long-term value provides clarity and focus. A $50 phone accessory may not warrant comparison, but a $1,000 laptop or a new appliance certainly does. Establishing thresholds creates structure and prevents trivial decisions from consuming disproportionate mental energy, while ensuring high-impact transactions receive appropriate scrutiny. Next, gather information from multiple sources. Utilize online marketplaces, manufacturer websites, physical stores, and price comparison tools to obtain a comprehensive view of the available options. Evaluate not only base prices but also shipping costs, warranty coverage, taxes, return policies, and potential discounts. Understanding the full cost of ownership ensures comparisons are accurate and realistic. Comprehensive research prevents hidden expenses from undermining savings and equips the buyer to make informed decisions grounded in reality rather than perception. Consider both quality and value alongside price. The cheapest option is not always the most cost-effective over time. Durability, functionality, energy efficiency, and long-term maintenance costs all influence the total value of a product. By assessing these factors, buyers avoid the false economy of purchasing low-cost items that require frequent replacement or incur additional hidden expenses. Strategic comparison balances cost with quality, ensuring that each purchase maximizes utility, longevity, and satisfaction while minimizing wasteful spending. Leverage timing strategically. Prices fluctuate due to seasonal sales, promotions, or inventory cycles. Identifying patterns in pricing can result in substantial savings. For example, electronics may be discounted during holiday seasons, while household items may see reductions at the end of a fiscal quarter model year. Awareness of these timing nuances allows for deliberate planning, where purchases are scheduled to align with optimal pricing opportunities. This approach transforms each decision from reactive to proactive, enabling both financial efficiency and psychological satisfaction in obtaining value. Use technology to enhance comparison. Price tracking apps, browser extensions, and alert systems can notify buyers when prices drop or when a better deal becomes available. Automation reduces the mental burden of constant monitoring and ensures no opportunity is missed. These tools act as allies in disciplined spending, supporting informed decision-making and reinforcing the habit of deliberate evaluation before commitment. Technology amplifies effectiveness, making the process more efficient without compromising accuracy or thoroughness. Assess the reputation and reliability of sellers. Price comparison is not solely about finding the lowest figure. It is also about ensuring trustworthiness, security, and reliability. Read reviews, verify return policies, and check seller ratings to prevent complications that could undermine financial decisions. A marginally higher price from a reputable source may be preferable to a lower price with uncertain quality or service. Integrating credibility into evaluation protects both financial resources and peace of mind, ensuring that every purchase is not only economical but also secure and dependable. Create a framework for decision-making. Establish criteria for comparison, such as minimum quality standards, preferred brands, warranty terms, and acceptable price ranges. A structured framework prevents impulsive decisions driven by emotion or convenience. By clearly defining thresholds and parameters, each purchase is evaluated systematically rather than arbitrarily. This disciplined approach converts the buying process into a strategic exercise, reinforcing analytical thinking and long-term planning, rather than leaving outcomes to chance or impulse. Consider opportunity cost when evaluating alternatives. Every dollar spent on one item represents money unavailable for other goals or investments. Comparing prices with an awareness of opportunity cost highlights the broader financial implications of each decision. For example, saving $200 on a laptop may allow for contributions to a savings account or debt repayment, producing cumulative benefits beyond the immediate transaction. Incorporating this perspective transforms shopping from a narrow focus into a comprehensive financial decision that aligns with overarching objectives. Practice patience and self-control. Impulse buying often arises from a perceived need to acquire immediately, yet delaying commitment provides the time to identify better deals or evaluate alternatives. Even short pauses can reveal opportunities for negotiation, discounts, or alternative solutions. Cultivating patience strengthens decision-making, reduces the likelihood of regret, and reinforces the habit of deliberate strategic spending. Each intentional pause before purchase becomes a mental exercise in discipline, reinforcing both financial prudence and emotional resilience. Track and reflect on outcomes. After significant purchases, review the effectiveness of the comparison process. Did the research yield savings or a better value? Were there unforeseen costs or overlooked factors? Reflection allows refinement of strategies, improving decision-making for future purchases. Over time, this habit enhances analytical skills, strengthens judgment, and builds confidence in financial choices. Evaluating past transactions reinforces accountability and provides insights that compound into greater financial intelligence and resourcefulness. Negotiate when possible. Once comparison provides a clear understanding of market rates and alternatives, use this knowledge to advocate for better terms, price matching, or bundled deals. Effective negotiation leverages information and preparation, turning knowledge into tangible advantage. It also fosters a mindset of assertiveness and agency in financial interactions. Each successful negotiation reinforces confidence, demonstrating that careful research combined with strategic action can produce measurable financial benefits. Integrate comparison habits into broader financial planning. Align significant purchases with budgets, savings goals, and debt management strategies. Avoid purchases that disrupt progress toward key objectives, even if prices seem favorable. This integrated perspective ensures that every transaction contributes positively to overall financial health, rather than offering short-term satisfaction at the cost of long-term security. Strategic alignment between evaluation and financial priorities magnifies the effectiveness of both practices. Recognize the psychological benefits of disciplined comparison. Conscious evaluation reduces anxiety about overspending, builds confidence in decision-making, and creates a sense of control over financial outcomes. Knowing that each choice has been made with careful consideration fosters satisfaction and reduces post-purchase regret. The habit reinforces awareness, patience, and critical thinking, shaping behavior that extends beyond shopping into broader financial and life decisions. Finally, view price comparison as an exercise in intentional living. Every significant purchase represents an opportunity to practice discipline, strategic thinking, and self-control. By committing to research, evaluate, and choose deliberately, each expenditure becomes aligned with personal values and long-term goals. The habit nurtures foresight, cultivates patience, and strengthens the ability to act with purpose. Over time, disciplined comparison transforms financial behavior, producing both tangible savings and the intangible benefit of reinforced self-mastery. By comparing prices before every significant purchase, individuals turn every transaction into a conscious, strategic act that optimizes value, preserves resources, and strengthens financial intelligence. This practice cultivates patience, analytical thinking, and discipline, producing both immediate savings and long-term empowerment. Over time, the habit becomes second nature, creating a lifestyle where deliberate evaluation and intentionality guide decisions, maximizing both monetary efficiency and personal confidence. Strategic comparison is not merely about saving money. It is a tool for mastery, control, and sustained financial well-being.